After 70, there are aches, discomforts, and tiredness that one begins to accept as part of age. It's normal to feel this way, we tell ourselves. It must be because of the years. And little by little, we start living with things that would have worried us before. But today, I want to tell you something that can make a huge difference in your life, or in the life of someone you love. Just because something is common doesn't mean it is normal. The fatigue that doesn't go away, the appetite that disappears, the mind that becomes a little more confused, the legs that swell. Many associate these directly with old age. But behind those signs, there may be something else, something you shouldn't ignore. Problems that, if detected early, can be treated or even reversed. The problem is that most don't see them coming. Or worse, they see them and let them pass. This is not a video to alarm you. I don't want you to live in fear, nor to start imagining illnesses. But I do want you to be attentive, to know that your body, even now, keeps talking to you. And those little signs that you or a loved one may be feeling deserve to be heard. Because when we learn to distinguish what is part of natural aging from what is not, we gain something very valuable: time. And at this stage of life, time is gold. Today we're going to talk about 5 very common ailments that often hide behind more serious causes. And I want you to stay with me until the end, because some of them might change the way you see what you are feeling right now. This video can be a guide for you, but also for your partner, your mother, your father, or your neighbor. No one teaches us how to age, but we can learn to do it with awareness and care. Before continuing, I want to know a little more about you. Have you or someone close to you felt any of these symptoms lately? Tell me in the comments how old you are and from where you're watching this video. I would love to read you and know you're here. Ailment number 1. Constant fatigue or lack of energy. Mr. Lewis is 77 years old. He was always an active man. Even after retiring, he kept a daily routine: morning walks, gardening tasks, and afternoons reading or sharing coffee with his neighbors. But for some time now, something changed. He started feeling that everything cost him more effort, that the walks exhausted him, that he needed to rest after doing simple tasks like making the bed or climbing a flight of stairs. He attributed it to the passage of time. I'm getting older. It's normal, he thought. Until one day, when getting out of bed, he felt he couldn't handle his own body. This deep, constant fatigue without any apparent explanation is more common than you imagine. And the problem is that many, like Mr. Lewis, accept it as a natural part of age. But it's not, or at least it shouldn't be. Fatigue may seem like a logical consequence of aging, but behind it may hide much more serious problems. One of the most frequent is anemia, which happens when the body doesn't have enough red blood cells to carry oxygen. Another cause can be hypothyroidism, a condition in which the thyroid gland doesn't produce enough hormones to keep the body balanced, leading to a constant state of slowness and exhaustion. It can also be heart failure, where the heart can no longer pump blood with the necessary force. Even some types of cancer, in their early stages, manifest only with persistent fatigue. So, how to tell normal tiredness from a dangerous one? Pay attention if the fatigue is constant, if it doesn't improve with rest, if it affects your daily life, or if it appears accompanied by other symptoms like loss of appetite, difficulty breathing, palpitations, paleness, or unexplained weight loss. If you used to be able to walk several blocks and now get exhausted crossing the room, don't ignore it. If after sleeping 8 hours you get up more tired than when you went to bed, your body is telling you something. In Mr. Louis' case, it was his grandson who convinced him to see a doctor. There they discovered he had severe anemia caused by a digestive ulcer that hadn't shown other visible symptoms. He received treatment, his energy improved, and today he is grateful he didn't wait any longer. Constant fatigue is not always just tiredness. It is a signal, and like any signal, it's there to be heard. Ailment number 2. Lower back pain. Mary is 74 years old and has lived alone since her husband passed away. She was always independent and active. A few months ago, she started feeling discomfort in her lower back. At first, she attributed it to bad posture, maybe from sitting too long or making a wrong movement when bending down. The pain was mild, intermittent, nothing that some rest and a painkiller couldn't relieve, or so she thought. Over time, the discomfort became more constant. It no longer only hurt at the end of the day, but also upon waking up. Some nights it even woke her up. Still, Mary didn't give it much importance. It must be an age thing, she told herself. But what she didn't know was that, in her case, that pain had nothing to do with muscles or bones. It was something else, something much more serious. Lower back pain is one of the most frequent symptoms in older adults. And yes, many times it relates to natural wear of the spine, bad posture, or osteoarthritis. But not always. Some causes can be much more concerning, which is why it's essential not to normalize it without careful observation. One of the most common problems that can hide behind lower back pain is kidney disease. The kidneys are located right in that area, and when something goes wrong, from a simple infection to kidney failure, the pain may be reflected there. It could also be an abdominal aortic aneurysm, a dangerous dilation in the body's main artery, which tends to grow silently until it's too late. In other cases, persistent lower back pain may be related to bone metastases, when cancer from another organ has spread to the bones. So how to distinguish benign pain from one that requires investigation? Here are some warning signs. If the pain doesn't improve with rest, if it is constant, stabbing, and doesn't vary with movement, if it appears at night or interrupts sleep, if it's accompanied by unexplained weight loss, fever, or fatigue, or if the pain radiates to the abdomen or legs. In all these cases, it's best to consult a doctor. It's not about living in fear, but about being attentive. In Mary's case, her daughter noticed she looked more down than usual. She insisted on taking her to the doctor. After some tests, they discovered she had an advanced kidney infection. The treatment was long, but it arrived in time. Today, Mary is much better and more aware that the body always gives signals. You just have to know how to listen to them. If you've been feeling lower back pain for days or weeks, don't minimize it. Your body deserves to be cared for, not ignored. Ailment number 3, loss of appetite. Mr. Ernest is 79 years old. He was always a man who loved to eat well. He enjoyed long family lunches, homemade desserts, and going back for seconds when something was especially tasty. But for some time now, his daughter noticed something strange. He ate less, barely nibbled on his plate, and sometimes went the whole day without mentioning food. When asked, he shrugged. "I'm not hungry. You don't need as much with age." Many think the same. That loss of appetite is a natural part of aging. That with time, the body simply demands less. And while it's true metabolism changes with age, losing appetite completely or suddenly is never normal. It's a signal, one often underestimated, but that can warn of something more serious. Persistent loss of appetite can be associated with many causes. One of the most common and least talked about is depression. In older people, sadness doesn't always express through crying, but through lack of interest, fatigue, and rejection of food. It can also be an early symptom of heart failure, when the body starts retaining fluids and the digestive system is compromised. In other cases, it may be the first alert of gastrointestinal cancer, stomach, colon, or liver. Even liver problems, such as cirrhosis or chronic hepatitis, may initially manifest as constant fullness or lack of interest in food. The impact goes far beyond the pleasure of eating. When an older person stops eating well, their body enters a state of progressive weakening. They lose muscle mass, increasing the risk of falls and fractures. Their immune system weakens, making them more vulnerable to infections. Recovery from any illness becomes slower, and their mood worsens even more. It's a cycle that isn't easy to break. Back to Mr. Ernest, the situation didn't improve. He lost weight unintentionally, felt weaker, and stopped doing things he used to enjoy. His family doctor decided to run deeper tests. There they discovered an early-stage stomach cancer. Thanks to timely intervention, they were able to treat it on time. Today, although his appetite isn't what it used to be, he has regained weight, energy, and the will to share. So, if you, or someone close, has started eating less for no clear reason, if there's a steady decrease in appetite or even aversion to certain foods, don't ignore it. Listening to that signal can make the difference between prevention and regret. Ailment number 4, changes in memory or occasional confusion. We've all experienced it once, walking into a room and forgetting why we did it, or looking for keys that were in our pocket all along. These are normal lapses, even necessary for the brain to reset and prioritize what's important. But when those forgettings become frequent, when they stop being simple lapses and start disrupting routine, it's time to pay attention. This was how Teresa's story began. She is 75 years old and was always organized, punctual, and very independent. But a few months ago, her daughter noticed subtle changes. Teresa began getting lost in simple conversations, forgetting names of close people, repeating stories without remembering she had already told them. One day, she went shopping and forgot how to get home on a street she had walked 1,000 times. Occasional memory loss is part of normal aging. Our brain ages too. We think slower, find it harder to recall certain details or learn new things. But when confusion starts affecting daily activities, it may be a sign of a bigger problem. One of the most common conditions behind these symptoms is dementia, including Alzheimer's disease. It is a progressive decline of cognitive functions, beginning with mild forgetfulness and ending by affecting identity and autonomy. But there are other possible causes. Small brain microinfarcts, also called silent strokes, can accumulate over the years, affecting memory, judgment, and concentration without obvious symptoms at first. How to tell normal forgetfulness from a sign of deterioration. Here are some clues. Forgetting something important and not remembering it later. Getting lost in familiar places. Leaving objects in strange places, like milk inside the closet. Being unable to follow a conversation or movie. Forgetting the use of common words, or sudden mood swings without apparent reason. These go beyond distraction. They are warnings that something is happening in the brain. In Teresa's case, her family acted in time. They went to a neurologist who confirmed mild cognitive impairment. They started treatment with mental exercises, emotional support, and lifestyle changes. Today, although her memory isn't what it used to be, she has found new strategies to remain autonomous and, above all, regained the confidence she had begun to lose. If you or someone close has begun forgetting important things more often, or shows confusion, disorientation, or difficulty communicating, don't take it as normal. The brain also needs medical attention, and the sooner these changes are detected, the more chances there are to slow their progress. Ailment number 5, swelling in legs or feet. Seeing your legs or ankles a little swollen at the end of the day may seem common, especially if you have been sitting a lot, if it's hot, or if you've spent many hours standing. And many times, yes, it can be a natural response of the body. But when that swelling becomes constant, visible, or starts affecting how you walk, your energy level, or even your breathing, it's not something you should ignore. That's what happened to Manuel, a 79-year-old man. For weeks he noticed his shoes felt tighter than usual in the afternoon. He thought it was because of the heat. Later he noticed his ankles were thick at night, and it was hard to put on socks. It must be age, he said. But over time, the swelling went up to his knees. Then he started waking up gasping at night, and finally one day, he couldn't walk more than 2 blocks without feeling like he was suffocating. He ended up hospitalized for heart failure. Persistent swelling in legs and feet can be one of the most silent but serious signs of several health problems. The first and most important, congestive heart failure. When the heart can't pump blood efficiently, it starts to accumulate in the lower limbs, especially in the ankles and feet. This fluid buildup is called edema, and it's not just a nuisance. It's a sign that your circulatory system is in trouble. It can also be caused by kidney problems. The kidneys regulate fluid balance in the body, and when they don't work well, the body retains more water and sodium than it should. The result is swelling that often begins in the feet but can spread. Another common cause is chronic venous insufficiency. The veins in the legs have valves that prevent blood from flowing back down by gravity. But with age, or from sitting or standing many hours, those valves can weaken. This causes blood to pool in the leg veins, causing heaviness, nighttime cramps, and edema. How to know if it's something serious? If the swelling is daily, worsens by the end of the day, leaves a mark when you press with your finger, or comes with difficulty breathing, rapid weight gain, or fatigue, it's time to see a doctor. Also, if it happens only in one leg, as it could be a clot, which is a medical emergency. In Manuel's case, the edema was the first sign his heart needed help. Thanks to timely care, he managed to stabilize, change his habits, and move forward with more awareness and care. So if you or someone close often notices swollen feet that don't go down at night, or that start causing pain or limitations, don't let it pass. Your body is trying to tell you something. The mistake of normalizing symptoms in old age. Over the years, many older people do something without realizing it. They begin to normalize discomfort. They assume that feeling tired, in pain, swollen, or confused is part of age. That there's nothing to be done anymore. That it's better not to complain because everyone at their age feels the same. And that's where the real problem begins. Aging doesn't mean resigning. It doesn't mean settling for a limited life, nor accepting pain or symptoms as inevitable punishments of time. Aging is a natural process, but feeling bad is not. There is a big difference between what's usual and what's healthy. Of course, the body changes. It becomes slower, more fragile, more demanding in certain care. But those changes don't have to come with constant suffering. Many ailments can be prevented, treated, or alleviated if detected early. The problem is that often the first obstacle is our own attitude. Phrases like, "It's age," "I put up with it," "I don't want to bother," or "Why go to the doctor if I'm already old?" are more dangerous than they seem. Because while one convinces oneself that they are exaggerating, the disease continues to progress silently. And this is not just the responsibility of the one suffering. Many times, the family also minimizes the signs. Grandma is old already, they say, when she begins forgetting important things. Or, Grandpa has always complained about his back, when now he struggles to walk. That's why it's so important to talk things clearly. If you feel something in your body has changed, your energy, memory, breathing, sleep habits, or appetite, don't hide it. Don't minimize it. Tell your doctor. Talk to your family. Write it down. Watch if it repeats. Because the sooner a warning sign is detected, the easier it is to act in time. And if you are the son, daughter, grandson, or granddaughter of an older person, pay attention. Listen patiently. Sometimes a phrase that seems insignificant, like, "Lately I feel strange," or "I don't want to do anything anymore," is a way of asking for help without saying it directly. Medicine today has advanced so much that many conditions once considered part of aging are now treated and improved with good results. The only thing that can't be treated is what is ignored. So make a promise to yourself. Don't normalize what makes you feel bad, because every stage of life deserves to be lived with dignity, care, and the best possible quality. Now that we've reached the end, let's take a moment to review the 5 ailments we've explored today together. We first talked about constant fatigue, that feeling of always being tired, without energy, even after sleeping. Something many older people feel, but that can also be a warning sign. Then we saw lower back pain, the kind we sometimes attribute to bad posture or time passing, but that could also be related to kidney problems, aneurysms, or even something more serious. After that came loss of appetite, which is not just eating less, but a disconnection from the body. And sometimes it can be the first symptom of something much deeper. Next, we touched on changes in memory. Because forgetting a word is one thing, but getting lost on the street, repeating conversations, or feeling disoriented should not be a normal part of aging. And finally, we talked about swelling in legs or feet, that silent sign many ignore, but that can indicate problems in the heart, kidneys, or circulation. The important thing here is not to fill yourself with worries. The important thing is that you take away something fundamental. Listening to your body is a way of loving yourself. These signals, though annoying, are messages, warnings, calls for attention. And in most cases, they can be treated if detected early. No one knows your body better than you. You know when something isn't right, even if you can't explain it in words. Don't ignore that intuition. Don't think you're exaggerating. Don't let time pass out of fear of what they might say. Because sometimes, with a visit to the doctor, an honest conversation, or a small change in your habits, you can regain well-being, energy, and peace. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's respect for yourself. It's honoring all the years you have lived and all the ones you still have to live. Thank you for being here, for listening attentively, for taking this time for yourself. If any of these ailments made you think, if any resonated with you or someone you know, don't let it pass. And now tell me, which of these symptoms caught your attention the most? Have you experienced any in recent months? I would love to read you. Leave me a comment telling me your experience. You are not alone. And if you know someone who could benefit from this information, share this video. Sometimes, a simple warning can change a life. See you next time. Take great care because you still have a lot to live for.